All right, today we're going to be talking about Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn, The Final Empire. This is a fantasy book where the magic has to do with metal and the plot has to do with revolution. And that's as basic as I can get. As usual, we will be doing a general feelings section first, which means no specifics whatsoever to guarantee a spoiler-free experience. We'll be going down the categories wit, charm, believability, pace, and respect. And if you have any suggestions for any other ones I should add on, let me know. Be greatly appreciated. Before we get started, I'd just like to say this book was absolutely not written for me. It's on the far opposite side of the spectrum from my taste. This is very possibly perfect for you. But yeah, it wasn't my type of book. So I'd just like you to take it with a grain of salt. All right, first we're going to talk about wit. This book was not trying to be witty at all. It wasn't trying to give you anything to take home. To me, it wasn't trying to be very, artistic, which is good for a lot of people. This is purely plot-driven fantasy with not much in between. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm sure Brandon Sanderson would be a good place to start. I'm also going to add the category plot-driven intrigue for this book because I feel like it's a hugely redeeming factor. I ended up caring about this book whenever I didn't care about the main character and I didn't like a whole lot about it. I don't know, he casted the spell of intrigue on me. I shouldn't have liked it, and then by the end I was pretty invested. As far as charm, the world was incredibly immersive, and that gives it points on charm for sure. It quickly put me into this world. But the narration I found to be quite bland. It didn't have a voice of its own, really. Generally, I found, because of that, it to be a bit forgettable. As far as pace, I'm pretty sure the pace was pretty good, but it's hard for me to tell because it got pretty hard for me to read this book at a certain point, just because it didn't have the things to keep me going that I usually love in books like Witt. But I believe the pace was pretty good. It was very light reading, easy to read. It's a very easy 500 pages or so to get through. Yeah. Alright, as far as respect goes, this book gets automatic high respect because it's got millions and millions of fans. It's got a 4.5 stars on Goodreads, which is about as high as it gets. People absolutely love this book. It's all over the internet, and so the proof is in the pudding, and the evidence is there that this is a great book. It's just not totally for me. Also, a good thing to note is it's considered one of the best hard magic systems ever, if not the greatest. Now, I don't really care. A wizard can turn a guy into a cat, and I don't even blink. That's fine with me. But yeah, this has apparently got a really good hard magic system. I should know. I read it, but I just don't really know what to look for because I'm not a huge hard magic. I don't really care about that stuff. Believability also gets a pretty low grade because the characters didn't feel very human. These characters felt more fictional. The side characters felt very cookie cutter, like they were all filling a gap and playing a role. And the main character, given her past and what you learn about her, I didn't feel acted accordingly as a human being would. As far as my personal enjoyment, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. And that means I just barely liked it. And that is an incredible grade considering I did not like the main character. And this book was not trying to do any of the things I generally love about reading. So how he made me like it a little bit is incredible. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching. If you have any book recommendations, leave them in the comments. And I'll see you next time.